Hello, everyone. As promised, we will be speaking very briefly about programmatic assessment over the series of a few coming videos. These videos will be 2 to 3 minutes long, so hopefully this will be more useful to you and that you can make use of the information in it. So what are we speaking about and what is programmatic assessment and why am I bringing this up now? Is it important for you or not? What do you really need to know about programmatic assessment? Well, you have to know that programmatic assessment is basically a cycle, assessment cycle that depends upon questions that enable programs to regularly evaluate the goals that they have set for themselves and to try to quantify or imagine the degree to which they have actually succeeded in achieving these goals or these outcomes. In order to do this, the program uses data, available data to answer these questions. The question of whether or not this program has achieved its goal. The data needs to be variable from multiple sources. It needs to be, as we say, triangulated and from sources that are from student achievement and maybe from 360 degrees evaluation criteria or data. We don't know, but anyway, it's a methodology of utilizing all this information to understand whether or not the program has achieved its goal. For what reason? We do this because we want our students, our organization to understand whether or not there needs to be an iteration in the way this program has been approved and the way the program is being is achieving its goals. Maybe there needs to be a change in the teaching methods. Maybe there needs to be a change in the assessment methodology. No one knows. But how do we know this? From the information that we receive from programmatic assessment. So this maybe brings us to a very important point now that we want to discuss, and it is how the assessment cycle goes through. And I just want to refer you to something that was spoken about by Pearson in the year 2006. He said that the purpose of assessment is not just to gather results and data, but rather to illuminate ways to strengthen the curriculum, the instruction, and the student learning. So this is where the term assessment for learning comes into play. So how is the assessment cycle run? You can see here the assessment cycle. There is a representation of how the assessment cycle is being done. It starts, of course, from planning for assessment, planning your learning outcomes, the curriculum plan, the schedule, and then you start implementing the learning through learning opportunities that the students have to be exposed to. Then you collect data. This data is either direct or indirect data that you collect about the student learning. And then you interpret this and create evidence related to that. You share this with faculty and other members, and then you make informed decisions about how to improve your program, either in the design or in the delivery. This becomes a complete assessment cycle. We've spoken a lot about the complete assessment cycle, and you know that, but how are we planning our programmatic assessment? And to plan the programmatic assessment, it's important for you to make like a complete plan just before you start the implementation of your program. It's important because this is the plan that you will refer to in the continuous improvement plans of your course. As you can see the continuous years every year for the for your instruction. These are the 5 years. Maybe your program is 6 years, maybe it's 4 years, whatever it is, but at the end you need all your years to be listed there. The first row, the first column, it represents the program learning outcomes, and in the future videos we will be speaking about how these program learning outcomes are to be generated. And then the second column, you have to identify where in the curriculum of that specific year is the program learning outcome achieved or addressed. The second thing is, what is the assessment measure or the indirect or direct measure that you will be relying on in that specific year to evaluate that specific program learning outcome. And then who is responsible for that? What unit in your organization will be responsible for that? And in general, we have the institutional effectiveness unit or the quality unit, whatever you decide to call it. They are usually responsible for this kind of evaluation and calculation. When and how is this data calculated? And here it would be good for you to identify the name of the assessment or the time of the assessment and the methodology where this assessment will be done. How and when will results be shared? I mean, will they be shared straight after the assessment results, or are there evaluation plans that, correction plans that need to be taken into consideration? And when exactly are you expecting these correction plans to be in place? So, as you can see, this is what we will call the evaluation, the programmatic assessment plan. In order to reach this, we have a few steps that we will need to go over. We will go over identifying the program learning outcomes. We'll do this in the coming videos. Developing a curriculum map. We will also cover this. Identifying direct and indirect evidence. What is the evidence? What is the direct evidence? What is the indirect evidence? Determining who is responsible for programmatic assessment. Planning when and how to collect analyze the data, and determine how to share or when to share the data. And these are the categories of the programmatic assessment plan. We will be going all through these steps in the coming videos. I hope you enjoy them. And with that, I will leave you now in hope that you will be joining us for the future videos. Thank you so much. And I hope to see you soon in the coming videos. Thank you.